Welcome back to the Fletchcast. I'm Michael Fletcher. This is a follow-up. I think this is Fletchcast number 25. 24, we talked a lot about power, and power is the answer. Power is the answer. If you're a community and you have no power, then you're not a community. You are a victim. You're a big, amorphous, meaningless victim. Multicultural power is what the Fletchcast is about. And we're going to go over it over and over again. And I'm just so focused on it. I'm focused on it because it's our way forward. It's our way forward. If we take advantage of the opportunities that we have, then we get to have this extraordinary existence. Power, money, fame, access. But most importantly, our kids get to know exactly who they are. No more of these game playing. He's my child is black. I was watching Khloe Kardashian, who I love. I love the Kardashians. They're amazing. And she was talking about the fact that her daughter is black. And I'm watching this. I'm like, your daughter is not black. Your daughter is 100% multicultural. She's part African American. But what we have to do as a community is we have to define who it is that we are. We can't have other people define us. It can't be, oh, black people or African Americans define us or Caucasians. We define ourselves. That's what the Fletchcast is about. The Fletchcast is 100% about community. And to be a community, you have to have power. Power, you can create it, you can build it, and you can use it. If you do those three things, then you're a community. If you do none of those things, or two of those things, or one of those things, you're not a community. Perfect example, Jewish people. Jewish people make up between 1.5 and 2% of the United States and America. And yet 50% of all billionaires in America are Jewish. Now, I know some people are bitter about that, but you know what I think about it? I fucking love it. I love it. It's the perfect example of power. It's the perfect example of community. It's the perfect example of if you create power and you build it and you use it, extraordinary things can happen. As we sit here today, multicultural people are already almost 6% of the population. 6% of the population. If we follow the Jewish model, and I love it, if we follow the Jewish model, what can we do? What can we do? We can do anything that we want to do. We can build gigantic communities that are home to us, that our children get to take advantage of. We get to build job securities. AI says artificial intelligence, it estimates, is going to cut 25% of all jobs in America. If we, as a multicultural community, if we create power, if we build it, and if we use it, that job cut or those job cuts, we insulate ourselves. That was everyone else trying to find jobs during the AI turndown, not us. The whole point of this, and I mean this, and I'm going to say it over and over again, and time and time again, it's us. We are the most powerful community in America, and if not, we should be. We should be. Our last episode, I talked about people don't understand that Mark Zuckerberg owns Meta. Mark Zuckerberg's wife is Asian. They have Hapa children. That means the second or third largest company in America is owned by a club member. That's what we have. Mark Davis owns the Oakland Raiders. Mark Davis's wife is African American. They are a multicultural club. They are a multicultural family. That means a club member owns an NFL franchise. No African American, no Latino, and no Asian owns an NFL franchise. Club member does. Club member does. What else? We have these extraordinary opportunities, and it comes down to power. What are we going to do with this power? How are we going to build it? How are we going to use it? How are we going to create it? I'm going to tell you why. We're going to talk about it over and over again. But it starts most importantly with this. Us recognizing that we are a community. Us not allowing other people to define us. You can't do it. If you allow other people to define you, you have nothing. You get to do nothing. The Jewish model is what we do. It's amazing. It's right there for us. All we have to do is do what Jewish people do. That's it. It's an amazing opportunity, and it's one that we should utilize, and it's one that we're going to utilize. And it starts in many ways with calling things out. It starts with, for example, making sure that those within our community, us, that we do what we're supposed to do. We have to. I'm at the podcast. What's the name of this? I'm at Podcast Place. Podcast Place is owned by Solomon. Solomon is a club member, multicultural child, multicultural family. The Podcast Place. Make a podcast here. It's about economics, economics, economics. People don't understand. Martin Luther King Jr., he didn't die in Memphis marching for civil rights. He died in Memphis marching for economics, for increased pay. It's economics. If we as a community, if the multicultural community reaches out and makes just basic purchasing decisions, we could follow the Jewish model. The Jewish model gives us freedom. The Jewish model gives us opportunity. The Jewish model gives us community. It's extraordinary what we can do by doing nothing more than saying, I'm going to cut my podcast at the podcast center because it's a club member. It's the same thing here. For example, I was a Meta, Facebook. Facebook is owned again by Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg's wife is Asian. They have Hapa children. The decision has to be, I'm going to stay with Facebook. I'm going to use Meta. Why? Because it's a club member. More club member ownership means that club members can hire your children, my children, our children, by doing nothing more than following the Jewish model, by doing nothing more than looking out and saying, hey, that is a multicultural couple. Hey, how are you? Club member, club member, club member. I do this again. I told you in the last episode, drives my kid crazy. I see a person in the store. I see a multicultural family. I literally walk up, club member, fist bump, fist bump, fist bump. I do that because I want people to understand we are a distinct entity. We have obligations to each other. And if we follow those obligations, if we do nothing more than connect with that person who is part of our community, we've taken that first significant step in creating power. We've taken that first significant step in building power, and we've taken that first significant step in using it. Use it. It creates an opportunity for your children, for you, for us. It gives us community. It gives us power. It's all right here for us. I'm going to prove this to you. Not only, again, no other community. I mean, we've already beaten African Americans, which is unfortunately not saying much given the status of African American businesses. We've beaten Latinos, we've beaten Asians. We have a club member that owns an NFL franchise. We should love the Raiders. I love the Raiders. I'm a Chiefs fan because Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback in the history of the world and he's a club member. But I'm also an Oakland Raiders fan because Al Davis owns it and he is part of a multicultural community. He's a club member. We get to get up tomorrow and support a club member who owns an NFL team. How much does that ask of you? Your kids matter that much, right? It is about your kids. They matter that much. You can get tired of Facebook and do whatever you want. It's owned by a club member. Like it. Support your community. It will have real life attributes. It'll have real life meaning. And I can prove this to you. I can prove this to you. Here's what I mean. This week, Super Bowl starts. Super Bowl is going to be a highlight again of Patrick Mahomes and Patrick Mahomes' career. Patrick Mahomes is the quintessential club member. He's extraordinary. He's the greatest player ever in the NFL. He is a club member. He's a club member. If we just start doing this is one thing I want to talk about, and that is creating real economic opportunity. Patrick Mahomes, if we just took multicultural NFL players And we said, go hire an agent who's a club member. There's plenty of African American lawyers who are club member, who have Caucasian wives or Asian wives. There's plenty of Caucasian lawyers who have Asian wives or African American wives or Latino wives. Go hire a club member. Make it a point to say, I'm going to be represented by someone who is part of my community. If we did that at this time next year, if multicultural NFL players did nothing more than say, I'm going to hire someone from my community. I'm going to hire someone who's going to hire my children. I'm going to hire someone who respects the boundaries and the beliefs that I have. If they did nothing more than that, the most powerful lawyer in all of the NFL would be a club member. The most powerful agent in the NFL would be a club member. The most powerful advertising firm in the NFL would be owned by a club member. Think about that. We could be number one already. It's your obligation. This is what we're going to do on the Fletchcast. We're going to come back to this point. It's about us. It's about us. Let's go out and be amazing. Let's go out and have extraordinary economic opportunity. Let's go out and build, create, build, and use our power. It's for us. And if it's not for you, do it for your kids. We could right now, in 1 year, let's give ourselves a year. We could have the most powerful NFL agent in America, the most powerful NFL attorney in America, the most powerful NFL advertising firm in America, all club members, because we control the NFL. Let's not be the African American model. Let's not be that. There are no African American agents in the NFL. Think about that. NFL is 63% African American, and not one significant agent in the NFL is African American. That's horrifying. But that's what happens to communities that don't exercise power. That's what happens to communities that don't have power. I work with Maxine Waters all the time. Maxine Waters, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, is my idol. She's extraordinary. She's extraordinary. We have been working, trying to create African American owned businesses at the state of California, the California Energy Commission. We found out last week that in California, where Gavin Newsom is running, the California Energy Commission has zero contracts with African American businesses. Zero contracts with Latino businesses. Those are communities without power because there's zero chance that they would admit that. Congresswoman Maxine Waters is sitting there. She says zero. We have to act. I consider myself, I am African American to the core. I'm half African American, but I'm 100% multicultural. But that meeting I had with the California Energy Commission and Maxine Waters, where they admitted that they've spent $3 billion on electric vehicle charging stations, and there is not one contract with an African American owned business, not one contract with a Latino business. That was when I said, I'm going to stop. I can't do this. Can't do it. Multicultural club members, we cannot fall into that problem. We have to act. We have to take care of ourselves. If we don't take care of ourselves, then there are going to be zero multicultural businesses. It's just economics. It's economics. We can't get trapped in this cycle of, oh, goodness, we're the victims. Oh, goodness, please give us that. Oh, goodness, please help us with this. We don't need your help. We don't need anyone's help but ourselves. And it starts with a fist bump. Club member, club member, club member. It starts with multicultural people saying, hey, I just bumped into a lady and she looked multicultural. I think I'm going to go to her store and say, hey, I have multicultural children. You look multicultural. How can I do business with you? That's all we have to do. It starts with supporting multicultural artists. There's the new Netflix show out. It's about Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's about a multicultural couple, highly educated, highly talented, All of these things. Go watch that show. Go watch it. Support your community. Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, say whatever you want. Married to a Muslim brother, married to an Asian lady. Support Dave Chappelle, a club member, a club member. Over and over and over again, we have all these opportunities. You have a responsibility as a club member. You have to do something. You have to support ourselves. Let's not fall into this African American model. And again, I work with African American ministers all day long. Some of my best friends are African American bishops. Bishop Noel Jones, who's as important as you get, Bishop Mark Tolbert, Congresswoman Maxine Waters. We've spent a year and a half trying to get one contract for electric vehicle chargers at African American and Latino churches, and there have been zero. Maxine Waters is the only elected official in all of California who has stepped up to the plate and said, I'm going to do something. She's it. She's it. African Americans have lost their way. They've lost their way because they have no economic power. They've stopped exercising power. They've stopped building power. They've stopped using it. We can't be that. It's horrible to see. It's horrible. Besides, it's better to have power. Let's go out and do stuff. This year, let's create businesses. Let's grow businesses and let's do it. Let's build this community. Let's continue to build this community. We're the fastest growing economic cycle. Jewish people, 1.5%. Jewish people have been discriminated against longer, historically speaking, than any other group. People can't, they tried to kill Jewish people. And they're half of the billionaires in America are Jewish. It proves the power of community. It proves what you can do if you focus on who it is that you are. If you focus on making sure that that money you spend, that dollar, that $100, that $1 million, if you spend it within your community, you can overcome extraordinary difficulties. That's what we're going to do. That's what we have to do. That's what the Fletchcast is about. That's what this ministry the Fletchcast is a ministry for me. This is important. This is about our future. We get to be the best at everything. We can have the most powerful agents, the most powerful lawyers, everything, and it can be yours. It just requires you to do the basic stuff. Club member, club member, club member. That's it. Patrick Mahomes is the perfect example of who it is that we can be. The most powerful person in the NFL is a club member. That's who we are. That's who our community is. But we have to take advantage of it. We have to build it. Power, you have to create it, you have to build it, and you have to use it. The way we create power is by turning on Mr. and Mrs. Smith because it's multicultural. Multicultural actors, highly educated, highly competent, multicultural actors. The way you build power is you say, I'm going to go watch, when I spend my money, I'm going to go spend it on multicultural performers, artists. Bill Burr. Bill Burr is stunning. Bill Burr is a club member. He's stunning. Go watch Bill Burr. Go watch him. He's hilarious. Dave Chappelle. He's hilarious. Power. We're going to use it. We're going to watch Meta. We're going to do Facebook. We're going to go spend our money on people who look like us or who don't look like us, but are who are club members. You could be the whitest guy in the world. Your multicultural grandchildren make you a club member. Remember that. Do it for them. Do it for you. This is our community. This is our community. This is the Fletchcast. How great was that? So do this for me. Like and subscribe. That would be cool. I know it's asking a lot of you. Like and subscribe. This is going to be amazing. It's a cool journey. Looking forward to it. Podcast Center is where you want to be. Solomon's grumpy. Oh, podcast place. Keep fucking it up. I've only been doing podcasts here for a year. Podcast place. Come do your podcast with a club member. Do everything with a club member. I'm Michael Fletcher. This is a Fletchcast. We love you. Can't wait to talk again.